This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm here with Chef Alex Molitz at the Farmhouse Tavern in the Junction in Toronto. How are you today, sir?
Very well, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, what are we making this afternoon?
We're going to make Pickerel Escabeche, which is a French style of pickling fish with pickled vegetables and some bone marrow that's been smoked in the oil drum smoker outside.
Fantastic. Now, is this a dish that we'll find on your menu on a regular basis?
We put this on last week. I'll probably like it for a couple weeks and then change something else.
Excellent, thank you very much. So where do you get your bones from? Anywhere special?
I get them from Woodward Meats at an Oakville. And so I get these canoe cut. And what I like to do is cold smoke them outside in the barbecue. And then I bring them inside. We'll pop out the bone marrow. We'll use that for this dish. And then I can take the existing bones, rest them off, and we can do a smoked beef stew or whatever with them. So it's a good usage of them. But all the products that we get, never mind with the vegetables, but with all of our meat, is some of the best. So I'm really, really lucky. This is the reason we do really, really well in this restaurant, is this machine. What all we do is I have a small fire. Right now I've got beets and some sunchokes, but I do a small fire and then we smoke these for probably about an hour inside. And all this is charcoal and a bunch of sawdust. Nice and easy.
And the sawdust is for?
Sawdust is just to maintain with the smoke.
Right.
And then sometimes I get apple wood from busted up apple trees from the guy that gives me apples to be able to use as some additional smoking stuff.
Nice. You can smell this all the way along the street, by the way. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I hope so. And when it comes to cooking a lot of vegetables in this machine, because it doesn't get the same type of char as if you were to burn something in the oven, it's really, really nice to maintain a nice clean side of the veg and then to have that char, so then in one bite you have this kind of fresh vegetable taste, and at the same time you get that deep earthy char on it.
Superb.
Very cool. So first thing, we have the escabeche here that's been chilled and been marinating for a couple days. And we're just going to make some nice thick slices. About 4 or 5. Maybe 5. And then on the plate, we're just going to transfer nice and separate.
And what kind of marination goes on there, Alex?
What we do is we start off with some shallots, sweated, aromatics, and spices, coriander, fennel, mustard seed. And so we sweat the shallots. We put in a bunch of extra virgin canola oil, which is this beautiful canola oil that's from Ontario.
Oh, right.
It's this great color from Pristine,
yes, yeah.
And they're awesome. So we sweat the aromatics, we warm up the oil, and then we spike it with a bunch of white balsamic. Almost 50% white balsamic to 50% oil. After that, we pour it directly over the fish into the fridge, and you let it sit for a couple of days. So again, this is classic peasant food. So this was originally done as a way of preservation, and now is done as a way of making everything taste really, really good. This is a dish that I was taught back in New York at one of the restaurants I worked at, and haven't done it for years and years and years, and then last week decided to do it, and it's been pretty well.
And the customers have been enjoying it?
Yes.
Fantastic.
It's definitely one of the more risky dishes that we've done here, but I think people are receiving it pretty well. So, we've already got the fish down. I've got a pan heating up over here. And that's just to do the last minute risole of the bone marrow. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of these nice little vegetables that have already been pickled for a minimum of 1 or 2 weeks. So I've got some purple cauliflower, some beautiful baby beets, Chioggia beets and golden beets, and some fennel.
Where do you source most of your vegetables like these from?
For the most part, all I use is 100 kilometer with Paul and Grace, and they've been amazing purveyors for all of us in Toronto regarding anything that's from the farm. We started to use them a lot back at Marvin years ago and have maintained a relationship, and throughout our success here over at Farmhouse, it's been really relying on a lot of what they do for us.
Excellent.
What I've done is I've taken just a little bit of the escabeche liquid, which basically is a really tasty vinaigrette by the end of it. And I'm just going to take the vegetables and just rest them a little bit in here. Now everything is already pickled, seasoned, salted, so there's no need to add anything extra. And then all it is just some nice placement, making everything like very pretty and multi-dimensional. Wonderful. All right, so the final piece to this dish is going to be the bone marrow. I'm going to let all that fat come out for a minute. So as you can see, I don't even need it on the stove.
Right, okay.
I like a bone marrow as if you like a foie gras. So it's all fat, but you never want to melt it all the way down. It's nice to have just that little bit in there. And then last second, I just have some picked tarragon and some picked parsley. Let that fry up.
Wonderful aromatics coming out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just trailing. Taking a lot of that bone marrow fat and letting it go over the fish. And to have that kind of hot and cold in the same bite. And this kind of meaty but then light in fish. I like having all that kind of contrast happen all at once.
Excellent, that looks so tasty.
And then after that, we do just a little nice herbage on top.
Herbage.
Little microgreens, make it look kind of fancy. And that's it.
That was fantastic. Excellent. Thank you very much, Chef.